Hey, what's up, guys? Joker here. Just wanted to make this video and talk about my impressions of Lost Ark. So, let me just get this out of the way. 87 hours of Lost Ark I've played. I'm not going to be talking about mostly the full 87 hours because, to be honest, it's a lot and it'll be like an hour-long video probably. I'm trying to keep this maybe 20 minutes or so. So I'm going to be talking about my experience all the way up to North Vern. That's where people consider, mostly that's where it opens up the end game, and that's where you really go and do stuff. I have played Shoeshire and Rohindal. I'll talk about those two in another video. But yeah, so let's get into the video. First, I want to say though, please like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. And now let's get into the video. So what do I think about Lost Ark? You know, I made a video talking about the pay to win, so I'm not gonna go into that. Please watch that video. Okay, I already made a video. I have to get some videos out of the way just because it would literally be an hour talking about Lost Ark. But I have enjoyed myself. Why I've enjoyed myself is the combat. Just exploring the world, the sailing and doing these little islands, collecting collectibles, just running around and doing stuff. I mean, to me, I was looking for a game that has these type of things where I can just turn my brain off and like go into. And yes, I know Lost Ark has an end game where you literally have to have your brain on high. I'll talk about the end game later, but that stuff, that rage stuff. If you're coming from Final Fantasy, is way harder. Like Final Fantasy's normal raids, you can turn your brain off and not even worry about it. I would say most of these are on that level, and then you will eventually get, when you go to the second list, it will exponentially get way harder, and you have to know mechanics and stuff. I think honestly, it's just more than knowing mechanics and stuff like that. Well, like, because honestly, when I know the mechanics, I'm fine. I've been going into these blind, and that is not a recommendation I would go with. It's just I'm too lazy to read, and I want someone to explain to me, and I learn better by doing rather than watching a video. Like, that's just the honest assessment from me. I don't learn well from videos or reading it. I need to see what is happening in order to understand it. Um, but yeah, the raids and dungeons, they're really fun, and I do like that content. And it's just about me getting better as a player too. I'm playing a paladin. Uh, didn't discuss that. Yeah, I'm playing paladin. That is one of two support classes. Now, let me also get this out of the way. Just because Paladin and Bard are the support classes doesn't mean we will heal you like a healer in other MMOs. Paladins have two support skills. They have one that makes you take 20% less damage, and they have another that gives you a shield, and then you get a little health back. We are not designed to heal you all the way up. And I think that's what people don't understand. Paladins and bards aren't going to save your life. You have to have potions equipped. And in these endgame content, the potions, you can only carry one potion. So that's why you save the percentage ones. You're going to need them. You have to put it on the lower bar, and it starts with F5. Actually, one. It's the lower bar. There's two bars on the right below your mana. The bottom bar is the one you can only use in those in-game contents. Keep that in mind. Do not come in without potions, because there is a chance if you do matchmaking, good luck. There might not be a paladin or a bard. If you do group finder, people might not let you in. That's also something to consider. And they also might not even have a paladin or bard. It's also not good to run like two paladins and then two DPS, because you will literally do like no damage. Paladins do less damage than most DPS. Actually, everyone is considered a DPS, but it's just paladins and bards do way less damage. Keep that in mind. Also, for reses, there is no one who is going to save you. The only way to res is if you have Phoenix Flumes. Those are very rare. Try not to use them. I like to spam them because I assume there's going to be a ton of them. That's not good. That's not smart either. Then again, I'm not reading before I go into endgame dungeons. That's not really smart either. But yeah, So I guess I talked about the end game content. I'm very organized, as you can tell. But yeah, that is the end game in combat. I like both. I like the loop. I see it. It's a free to play game. They kind of have like lockouts and stuff like that. That's to be expected. Of course, there's going to be lockouts. Um, Now the story. I am a story person. I really like story games. Horizon Forbidden West is about to come out. I'm going to be playing that game. I love story games. Final Fantasy story. I love the story. To be honest, that's the main hook for me of playing Final Fantasy over other games. Um, the Lost Ark story is horrible. If I want to say something, and the reason it's horrible, I guess horrible is a strong word. I think it's really bad. And it's not the main hook that's going to keep you drawn in. It's going to be the end game, getting collectibles, exploring the world. That's the draw. And you basically make the story because you're doing the adventuring. The story that's there, that's a skeleton that's supposed to make the game go forward. And there are you can't do certain tiers and stuff like that without progressing the story. So it's like a kind of little lock. You have to do it. Um, at least from with Maris all the way to North Vern, it was very janky. I would say Rethmas to Lutera was really bad. The dungeons between there, really cool, really cool. Combat, really cool. Gathering, really cool. The story was bad. That's just flat out it. You were like in a very generic adventurer who's gonna just at the wrong place at the wrong time somehow, and you have useless NPCs that come in and steal the credit from you. It's basically that generic. The dude who's helping you, Armin, is really, really useless, and his voice acting is really, really bad. And the bad guy, Carmine, also really, really bad voice acting. He's also, it's just, I'm not gonna get into the voice acting thing. I don't want to insult people. I'm gonna lay it out to where it just didn't sound good, and the delivery wasn't right for a lot of, and that's for a lot of characters. This isn't an uncommon opinion. It's throughout a lot of people. The voice acting is not good. The story is really not good. I do think though the story does get good in points. Lutera, I thought was really good uh, when you meet the prince there. It starts to get really, really good. And I guess spoilers if you don't want to learn anything about the story. What I was talking about, Rithmaris to Lutera, that's about like 4 hours if you're watching all the cutscenes. If you're not, it's probably way less. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about the story now. And it's gonna be spoilers. So yeah, so when you first meet Thyrane, I think is really when the story picks up. The Siege of Lutera was probably one of the coolest video game experiences I've ever had, and it was so weird. It was like, how was this here? I felt like they had 80% of their budget in this one scene because it was a big set piece. It was really cool. Um, and I find it weird because it was like there's a lot of crap on this side, then there's this, and then there's a lot of crap on the other side, and then there's a good moment. It's like wobbly with how they wanted to do this story. I think the next point that really gets good because it's slow, it really slows down after that. When you get to Borea's domain, I think that's another really good set piece because it's a huge war again, and they show the scale and grandiose of these wars really well. So I appreciated it. And then, you know, uh, again, spoilers. This is spoilers. Armin has his little hissy fit because he sees a lot of people die and stuff like that, and then he just leaves. He's like, "Yo, I'm out, I'm out," and you don't see Armin again for a long time. In fact, I saw him again in like a side quest, like just now, like really recently. So I mean, he probably pops up every once in a while, but it's probably like hidden side quests. Um, but yeah, so on Lutera, that continent, and Remethus, whatever it is, really, there's only two really good highlights, and basically the story is you're a hero, you're trying to gather the Dragon Balls basically, and you're trying to keep them out of people's hands, the bad guys' hands, and the bad guys are bad. That's basically the story, and you're strung along because you're trying to find all these arcs. That's why it's called Lost Ark. They lost the arcs. You're trying to find all these arcs, and they're all these different continents. That's why you're going on this adventure. So after that, you go to a new place called Tortorike, and honestly, I hated those weirdos. It was such a bad. It was another really bad zone that I didn't like, because also it came down to it messed with the gameplay. You would like be small and you couldn't use your mounts. The good thing is they gave you a mount that you can use, but I didn't like how you were ham-fisted to not having a mount. And that's also something with these other islands. In these islands, you can't use mounts. Some of these islands are pretty big. So all you have to do is auto run or use spacebar to dash, like with your dodge. If you're a gun lancer, I feel bad for you because you move really slow as a gun lancer. So it just sucks. Like in these islands, why do we have no mobility? Why can we not use our mounts? I just don't understand that. And it's really bad because some of these islands get big and it's annoying to run around in them because you're gonna have to run around in them if you want to do collectibles, if you want to do the side quests, do the island tokens. Those are very important. And having your mobility get cut in moments is really just a strange and awkward thing where it's like you get to the big continent and you're like, wow, oh yeah, crap, I can use a mount. And it's just such a weird thing to have. Now the next continent after that is Chongin. It's basically Mortal Kombat. It's basically that fighting game arc. Every anime has it. This is an anime. This is the fighting game arc. I didn't like the story there either. It was like, okay, you have to go through this fighting arc, a fighting tournament, fight this guy because we're trying to figure out the bad guys. Basically, this bad guy behind this tournament, and unsurprisingly, it's the last person you fight, which is just amazing. And he's working with the demons. Wow, what a surprise! But like it's like, okay, go fight this guy, and then fight this guy, and then it's like, oh, you need to go find out this guy's weakness. So you have to do like five quests to figure out this weakness. Fight him, beat him, fight another guy, beat him, and then it's like, oh, you gotta do the same thing. We gotta find this dude's weakness. He's too powerful. You can't just go up there and beat him up. That's basically the entire continent, and it was just so weird to me. It was like just, I mean, again, the dungeons are cool. I think the zones look really good, and what else can you say about it? It's just, again, the story messing with a lot of different things in the game, and you don't really have to pay attention to the story. You can just skip cutscenes, but I want to kind of watch the story to like stay involved and like not like have a moment where it's like, oh, who the hell is this guy? Like have that moment. Like I actually want to know who the hell these people are. And like when you interact with the bad guys, that's when the game is like good. You have like good banter, and not Carmine, but like literally the Legion commanders, those are all good. And so after Mortal Kombat, you go to North Vern. You're supposed to go there. What I did is I started doing Abyssal dungeons, Guardian raids, Chaos dungeons. I even did the tower. I like all those. I love all that in-game content. I like it a lot. I like the traveling. I like that stuff too. But at a point, it's like, man, I have to do this stupid story because that's how I get access to more endgame content. And it's like, stop. You hire writers who know how to write a story and connect it better, or just take the locks that the story has on this endgame content, because it's really just stupid. Like now North Vern, that's the next zone. I actually like that story. It was really cool. Like Thar, that character, really cool. The Queen, really good character. She's also smoking hot. That really helps. But like when it comes down to it, is that's a really cool story. It was really cool. But why isn't there more of it? Why is it so inconsistent? That's my only problem with the story. And that was it. After North Vern, you go to Shoeshire. I'm not going to talk about that. But again, the gameplay isn't changing. Well, no, actually, it is changing, because when you're moving up to 50 and you're unlocking more skills, you're putting more skill points into your skills so they get more powerful. You're getting better gear. You're learning about the engravings that work for you, and these engravings are very important. Please look up what is good for your class. For Paladin, I can tell you Awakening Expert, those are the top two. And do not go to the auction house. You do not need to do that. You do not need to go to the auction house. So let me just repeat that. There's no point, especially early on in tier 1. There's literally no point at that stage. But yeah, let me talk about the other mechanics. So Stronghold, that is literally a mobile game. It is basically Clash of Clans. It is important. It's good to do. And basically, what I do is like, okay, and let me just boop boop send two things. Okay, I don't have to worry about it till the end of the day. Boop boop, and sleep, and then wake up. It's like, okay, that's basically Stronghold. Do it. It's really important. Islands, very important. Pirate coins. Generally, what the first thing you're supposed to do is when you're at 250, you want to go do Blackfang Den, Blackfang, Blackfang Den, and Freedom Isle. It's like the one right above it. Um, those two give you pirate coins, and that you should get like 16,500, something around there. And then you go to Pado, and that will give you the Song of Resonance. You need that because you need to go to Lullaby Island and get the token there. That is the easiest token in the game. Lullaby Island is one of the events that will spawn in every once in a while. There's a little timer you get at like 50 that will alert you to certain events throughout the day, like Lullaby Island. There's other islands too that are just like that. Very important that you pay attention to that because it is more in-game content. These collectibles are very useful. They give you skill point potions, other collectibles, and really powerful end-game stuff that you need to do eventually. So you might as well do it if you're feeling a lull. You don't want to continue story. You don't want to do some. You're out of your chaos dungeons or abyssal dungeons or in guardian raids. You're out of that stuff. So you want to go do some islands. And honestly, it's pretty relaxing. I put on like YouTube or a podcast and I do it. And most of them, they're good maps. I'll try to link an Imager link because this guy put out a good video, a good like picture, describes the time, describes what you get from each island. Because some islands will give you engravings, engraving recipes, important. Give you C coins, important. Give you just basically important stuff. At least for me, early tier 1 stuff, I was not starting for mats. Now I am because I wasted them all. And it's important to get your gear good. And what also you need to know is you got to hone. You can't just buy 250 gear. You can't just buy 302 gear. Say, oh, I'm good. You have to hone it, upgrade it. That's how it moves it up and up and up until you get to like I want to say tier 2. Yeah, you have to keep upgrading it. Also, you have to buy your basically class set where it's like, so the 302 gear starts at rare. You have to upgrade that into epic and legendary. It increases the stats on all the armor. Again, when you make that armor, you can use gear transfer and transfer in. Say I have my rare, that's 302. That started at 302. I've upgraded it to be +5. I can put that +5 rating into my new legendary, and it will take that +5 and move the item level up, but it will have better stats because it's a legendary, not a rare. Important thing to know. It was kind of a crude explanation. Look up plenty of guides. That is very important. And like I said, this game is really good. Is it pay to win? There is a video I put out talking about if this is pay to win. I'll link it down below. You can go on my YouTube channel and look for it there. It's at the top. But yeah, I answered there. I like the game. Am I gonna, go hard on it and stuff like that? Well, I played 80 hours and the game has been out, how long? 9 days? There are people who played more than me. But yeah, I mean, just know if you're a story person, the story is not good. I would think of it more of like Metal Gear Solid 5. The story was not that good, but the gameplay was really, really good, and it looked really, really good. That's basically what this game is. But it's free to play. It will have gotcha mechanics. It will have mobile-ish type things that kind of are annoying at first, but you get used to it. And honestly, also what's a big takeaway is you do not have to spend any money in this game. Play ults that will help you get more mats and stuff like that to upgrade your character. I have not been doing that because I get sucked into doing islands. So there's that. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. If you like the video, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down if anything else that's helpful. But yeah, that was just my thoughts of Lost Ark from Maris, the beginning, all the way to North Vern. Again, like I said, I'll make my thoughts on Shoeshire and Rindle. It's probably going to be mostly about the story and definitely way shorter than this video. But yeah, see you soon and bye.